Hi, myself Dr. Anju Shukla. I'm a life coach, I'm a behavioral analyst, I'm an NLP coach and a practitioner. So, welcome to my channel. So, we have been talking about communication, which I regard as the backbone of a healthy relationship. Now, let's talk about few examples which may give an indication to us what is a bad communication or probably what type of communication is not so healthy communication, right? So in fact it may happen that a lot of times when we are talking, we are not talking or communicating to understand or to listen, but instead we tend to communicate only with the purpose of replying back. So the person may not be even through with his communication or whatever he wants to say, and we are ready with our replies, so we don't give an ear to what the person literally wants to say. Another time it may happen that we are communicating just to belittle or to insult the person in front of us, which is not a very healthy practice. Whenever we are communicating, we should have an open mind and an open heart, and the most important is a respect for the person in front of us. Also, it may happen that we tend to give a cold shoulder while we are talking, right? We don't try to understand, we don't try to empathize with the person, we don't care a lot of times when the other person is speaking. That is again an example of a bad communication. Also, it may happen that the discussion we are into, it may become heated and we tend to become defensive a lot of times. We just try to protect our own interests. We don't open with an open, we don't hear with an open mind, but instead we are just becoming defensive about our point of view. It may also happen that a lot of times we just tend to assume that we already know what the other person is going to speak. This assumption is something which we need to avoid while we are communicating, because a lot of times we may assume and those assumptions may literally not be true. So in a good communication, we need to just avoid assuming a lot of things. Also, it may happen that a lot of times when we are talking, our talk may reach to an argument, and that very time we may stop the communication and try to brush the issue under the carpet. In fact, that is a good thing to do for that very moment when the argument goes in a heated way, right? Probably when we are not ready to accept and to listen to each other. But the thing is, we need to come back and talk about it. Also, a lot of times when we are communicating, we don't go with an open mind, to understand and to reach a compromise. So this inability to compromise is again a big hurdle in the communication. In fact, in an effective communication. Also, it may happen that we make very few attempts to understand the viewpoint of the other person, right? So I believe that if the communication fails once, right, we should not give up. In fact, we need to try to communicate twice and thrice, right? But yes, we should not keep on being after the person, but yes, we can give few more attempts to communicate in an effective manner. So I believe we are a little more clear with few examples of a bad communication which we literally need to avoid in an effective communication. So thank you so much, and in the next video we are going to talk about few of the examples of a good communication in a relationship.